All right, welcome. This is your girl, Dr. T, and we are live beyond the beat. Man, listen, she really don't need no introduction. We might as well just be, you know what I'm saying, co-host at this point, man. Just Danielle is in the house with me today, man. Listen, just Danielle, I know you. I know a lot of the viewers have gotten to know you throughout these years, but I still want to give you opportunity for those who do not know you, for you to like introduce yourself to them, because can't nobody introduce ourselves like we can. All right, so I'm gonna give you a few
All
seconds
right.
to.
All right. Just real quick, you know what I'm saying? I go by the name Just Danielle. I'm a gospel slash inspirational artist. I don't really believe that I belong to any genres, but I love rapping. And yeah, we in here, man. I'm from Baltimore, and I'm happy to be on here with my sister, Dr. T. You feel me? Like she
Let's
said, man,
go. Let's
we might have to
go.
go ahead and do that co-host thing one time for a period of time. Something,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Actually, now.
I probably
Oh,
missed my
okay.
window. Dang. Dang.
All right, man. So listen, you got so much going on, and I know we had a conversation not long ago before this documentary came out. But you are doing such an amazing job on it. First of all, you released the first chapter. Um, I watched the first chapter. Of course, I had my little cameo, so I was like, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm really excited about where this is going, because it just gives people real insight into your life. It gets your emotions, how you feel about it, the journey, all of that is so evident in that documentary. So I want to talk about the technical side of things first. what
Yeah.
made you what made you want to do a documentary?
You know what? I don't even know. I really think it was like a God idea because it
Yeah,
seemed like it came out of nowhere. Really,
yeah,
I was like, I was looking at kind of like a couple of people like falling away from the faith and stuff like that, just
yeah,
because times is like hard, the condition of this world. Even like some, I guess, new information that was new to them. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, man, going to Florida, like to go to Full Sail was like my initial time that I actually had to like live by faith, step out on my
yeah.
own faith. I always kind of depended on my family and all that, but this was like my
Mhm.
first time living by faith. So I said, you know what,
Yeah,
I should do a documentary of like the toughest time in my life and how I had to like really live by faith. It wasn't a choice.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I really
yeah.
had to trust God and live by faith, and just in hopes
Mhm.
that it would inspire somebody else to like stick in there. You know what I mean? Just because we're in
Yeah,
this faith walk doesn't mean that things aren't going to get hard. Doesn't mean things that are not things will go our way all the time. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I'm gonna shoot a documentary and it's gonna be about this and that. And
yeah,
then it was not. It's about so many different other things. And
yeah.
it's basically just my faith journey. And then I'm inviting other people in as well that
Mm,
encourage me in my faith journey. And I
yeah.
still look to them now.
Mm. That's a part that I really like, that it's not just you talking about you. You know how a lot of people, they put out biographies, or they put out, about their life, but it's just about them. You invite another part to that, meaning how you are inspired by the other people, how your life has inspired them. You know what I mean? And I think the testimony is very important. And so that's one of the things I really like, and one of the things that sets you apart and what you're doing with this docu-series, as opposed to what we've seen so far. We have not seen a lot of gospel hip hop artists go into, this depth of their life. We hear the testimony, the stuff that they can tell, and then the stuff they want to keep away. They just, you know what I'm saying? But you give it all. Did any point in time did you feel like I might have went too far telling this part of the story? And did you change that? What
Yeah,
what what happened
for sure. I definitely edited out. like, um, and it wasn't like anything that I would like want to keep out of it. I think it was the tone and what I and how I said something. So I wouldn't have
Got
changed like what I said. It was how I
it.
said it. And like
Yeah.
just my background and stuff like that, it's just sensitive to a lot of people. And like my heart behind it, my intentions behind it is like not to offend anyone, regardless of, however they choose to live their life, but just tell my
Yeah.
story. And I got to tell my
Yeah.
story in the most authentic way. You know what I mean? And yeah, so if it's something that would be like, that could easily be like a sound bite, we got to
Uh-huh.
take that out. And it's
Yeah.
not, it wasn't what I said, it was how I said it. And I was
Gotcha.
like, nah, this too close to this. And I don't want nobody to feel like I'm trying to, play them, because I don't play that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I hear
I
you.
already know. So yeah, I ain't listen, I ain't trying to stir the pot no more than what
Yeah.
it's already stirred
People
up.
get
You
in their
feel me? It's
feelings
already
over the
stinking. I don't
little
need to
stuff.
keep stirring it. Yeah,
Yeah,
huh?
they get in their feelings over the little stuff, especially those who have known you back then are in your life right now and they have changed their life at the same time. It can kind of get touchy when you go into the backstory because they're like, I don't want that part of my life shown yet. I'm not ready to tell that part of my testimony, or I decided to block that out. So separating
Mm-hmm.
your experience from them, if they were in your experience, would be kind of hard to do, but it's part of your testimony. So one of the key
It
things you
is.
said was authenticity.
Yeah, I gotta keep it real, but to be fair, I did ask people. I was like, hey, I ain't gonna go into detail,
You were
but
nice.
I need you to sign off on this. And everybody was cool. They was like, of course, man. I mean, it's your story, because they witnessed it. So, and they're part of my journey. So they be like, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's your life. You know what I mean? Go ahead, put it out there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't putting nothing out that wasn't already out. You know what I mean? I just kind
Yeah.
of rearranged the clips. You know,
Gotcha.
it's already
Gotcha.
out though. Yeah, it's
So
already out. The internet is forever.
it is definitely all right. So let's go back to the making of this first chapter because we know chapter two is being
Coming
released,
up.
and we also know that we have a new song that's being released. So we want to talk about all of those things, how they relate to this documentary, because you have the "Live by Faith" single as well, correct?
Yeah, I'm
And
happy
so
about that.
you happy about that? All right, talk about
Yeah.
making that single and how it relates to this documentary because we know it kind of
Yeah, because
coexist.
Live by Faith is like the main single for the whole documentary. It's the
Okay.
self-titled Live by Faith, you know what I mean? So I was excited to get that one. I wanted to drop that so long ago, but
Yeah.
it wasn't even finished, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
was like, I can't even release the self-titled without it being finished and put out there, you know what I mean? So I mean, I'm excited that it's out. It's doing well. I think I need to promote it more because I dropped them both on
Yeah.
the same day. So I think it
Right.
kind of confused people. Like, wait, you got a song with it too? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, I've been telling you this whole time.
Yeah. I think you do a
So
pretty good
yeah,
job with promotion, and people just need to pay attention. That's right,
yeah.
Willie.
You know what? I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. Like, yeah, I listened to the song. Did you see the first chapter? What? What's happening
You're like,
again?
what?
Like, the crazy thing about it be your own people though.
Yeah.
It be your
Yep.
siblings acting like this. It's like, I just, you know what?
How
It be
has
your
the
siblings.
response been from the family? Speaking of the family, how has the response been when the first chapter was finished? Like, and everybody did start seeing it. What was the response that they got back from that? That you got
They
back
was
from it?
really they was really happy for me. They was like, finally, because I've been working on it for like a year and some change.
Yeah,
It's only
yeah.
been like a year and 3 months, but that's
I was about to say
to
we
be
have been
working.
waiting for a little minute.
Yeah, but to be working on something that's so big, and then
Yeah,
I'm involved in a bunch of moving parts, so I'm just like,
yeah,
yeah, I know it has been a long time, but they was
yeah.
they was just happy that I put it out, and they was featured in a lot of the moments of faith because their faith helped me as well. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to return the favor at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. So going through that, were there moments and times during watching that you like? like you got saved all over again on some parts? You know what I mean? Like, did you go back in your mind and how did that impact you today? Did you get impacted by your story?
Yeah, I got grateful. Um, a new level of gratitude. And then it was some parts where I was like, you haven't completely dealt with that.
Yeah. Opening up.
you know,
Yeah.
and the interesting thing, when I was doing the interviews to, put together the documentary and stuff like that, it's interesting to see how people perceive your life and what you're
Mm.
going through and how they interpret it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And some of the comments, I ain't gonna lie, it just rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean? But
Really?
and I was just like, why does this bother me so much? So I had to sit with myself on certain parts. But for the most
Yeah.
part, I was just like, whew, girl, God has brought you a long way.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. So
for
with
sure.
that, like you said, it opens up new wounds, and that's it's why I asked the question, because sometimes we do forget how far we've come, and it gives us an
Yeah.
appreciation when we go back and view things like that, or when somebody talks about something we went through and they were connected to us at that time, and we're like, "Dang, yeah, I was a little rough. Yeah, I did do that," But this
Yeah.
gives a yeah. So we're opening those new wounds. So talk about how you've been dealing with that as you continue to go through this docu-series, because each chapter is going to do the same thing. It's going to start to reveal things and open stuff back up, and you may have some things that pop out that maybe you aren't healed from. Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've had a year and some change to comb through a lot of the footage.
Mm.
So I'm kind of already settled with a lot of it. But I didn't interview anyone that hasn't affected my faith in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes when you talking to like family and stuff like that, they can, I don't know, like they have this thing where they feel like they can see exactly where you were and what you were going
Yeah,
through and how you were
yeah,
struggling. And I had to tell a few of them like, yeah, it really wasn't a struggle for me though back then.
yeah,
This is what I chose. I chose this life.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it wasn't a struggle. I wasn't trying to figure out myself. I knew exactly who I was. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I think I think we all get to that place where we just constantly grow and start to notice different parts of ourselves and just evolve
yeah.
naturally. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So to them, it looked like, well, to some of them, oh, you was just trying to find your way. I was like, no, that was my path.
That was good.
That's the one
Wow,
I
so
chose. Yeah.
that's the route I chose.
That's the one I
We
chose.
got
Yeah.
that's the realness that we missing. You know what I'm saying? I'm such an avid supporter of you and what you put out, whether it be your music or this documentary and whatever else God is going to be doing with you, because just from the beginning, first hearing one of your songs and being like, I gotta look her up and see where she at, who is this person, and then your name had changed at this time. But I felt the realness. It's just like you just gonna be who you are. Period. A lot of artists we know, they try to be saved. They try to be the one that is using their testimony to help others heal and stuff. And I think what we miss is an opportunity not to just have a form, but of godliness, but actually have some impact on the people that are looking at the testimony or hearing the testimony. So that's one of the things that I think a lot of artists are missing when they go out to do things. You can put out stuff all day long, but will it
That's for
impact?
sure.
Will it
Yeah.
impact? So talk a little bit about how anybody, this is your first film, so this process has been eye open for you. Do you think? I think I'm gonna ask you two questions in this part. Somebody that's
Okay.
coming into it, somebody that's coming into it, and they want to put out documentary or they want to do a film. What is the thought process? What is something that they should be thinking about before they even take that first step and start putting a camera up?
Yeah, man, I feel like, woo, this is my first time. So I did a lot of stuff, trial and error. And
Yeah.
then I had the opportunity to do my husband's mini doc. And then I went on tour last year and I did a mini doc for that as well.
Oh wow.
Now, doing that and then going back and looking at my own footage, I was like, dang. You know what I mean? So I would say, if you are doing this for the first time, listen, go into deep prayer. First of
Yeah.
all, pray, 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 pray. So you don't have just like ideas in the middle of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't sit with it enough to where as though I got all the instructions before I just jumped out there. And I'm a
Yeah.
jumper.
Yeah.
I'm a jumper. You know what I mean?
They're
I
gonna be
get
like,
out
you
there
said
and
live
I
by
run with it.
faith.
Exactly. You know what? It's a fine line between living by faith and just planning very poorly. So I would say, storyboard. Get the shots that you want in your head. Kind of like write out not a script but a storyline to where as though know what story that you want to tell. Um,
Yeah.
at first, I just wanted to tell the story about me going to school, and then people were like, "But what led you to go to school?" And I'm like this. They
Mm.
be like, but what led you to that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
but how'd you start music? And I'm just like, oh dang, I didn't even think of all that. You know what I mean? So
They
now
made
I'm
it
adding
happen.
stuff in the middle of it. And that's another
Yeah.
thing that prolonged the whole situation. You know what I mean? So I would say pre-production planning. Just plan, and then go out and shoot.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's definitely something. It's like if you can't see it, if you don't have the vision in front of you, how are you gonna like produce it? Like it usually take longer for people that just go out and do it. Now I know that for me, I'm a jumper too. I'm a jumper too. So sometimes I get out, I put something out, and it'd be like, okay, so now you actually got to produce this, within this time frame, and it's like you haven't thought the whole process through. So I've learned to kind of step back and be like, okay, what do I want the impact of this thing to be? It's like you go from
Right.
the end to the beginning. So what is the results that I want to achieve from this? What am I looking to get out of this? What's the impact I want to make? And then you go from there saying, okay, this needs to be included. This needs to be included. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're talking about your life, what part of your life brings the impact to people? And you did something very valuable too. You listened to people, because to put a product out that people don't need, it doesn't make any
Right.
sense. You know what I
It
mean?
doesn't benefit
Like,
anyone. Yeah.
yeah, so you have to look at it like this is a product that people need. Your testimony is
Yeah.
a product that people need. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just about doing something, it's about knowing why you're doing that thing,
Yeah.
and that
I
helps
mean,
you
I
to
knew for
really,
sure why I was doing it. And I had the
yeah,
vision right here. And I just needed, my husband is a rider though. I was just like, I want to do this, do that. He's like, all right, cool. Tell me what
all
to
right.
do. And I was like, hold the camera like this. Listen, please get my angles, get flattering shots, please. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
after that, it was just like, all right, this is all in my head. At first, it was only going to be like 15 minutes. By the
hmm,
time I listened to my advisors, my cabinet members, they were like,
yeah.
now it's an hour and some change. Okay, so now I got to break it
Wow.
down in chapters because it's just too long
Yeah,
without it being redundant. You know what I mean? It's long
yeah,
without it being like, she keeps saying the same thing. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I was like, okay, next time I will do it better.
So how many chapters are we expecting from this documentary?
At least 7.
At least 7 chapters. All right. Well,
Yeah, we going all the way to July.
cool. So that's gonna be every 2 weeks. You're gonna be releasing, or what are we thinking?
No, it's every month. Now, this got
Every
to be
month.
realistic, though. Okay, so we
All
got
right.
the Moments of Faith coming out in 1 week. Listen, because there's a lot going on, right? We got
Yeah.
the soundtrack for each chapter. We got the
Okay.
actual chapter coming out, and then we got the Moments of Faith, where people that kind of like inspire me on my faith walk, and then people that I'm just connected to. I feel like the more
Yeah.
testimonies we hear, the more like people have to draw from. Like, you know, some people, they just believe they have to have this crazy testimony, like God saved me while I was drowning, a
Yeah.
dolphin was spinning around and it lift me up under the water. You know what I mean? They think like
Yeah.
they have to have this crazy thing to start, have to actually hit rock bottom to start living by
Yeah.
faith, when you don't. You know what I mean? So the more
Yeah.
experiences that people can draw from, I feel like the impact of it will be what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Absolutely.
everybody can't relate to my story, but somebody can relate to somebody else's. And just the
Yeah.
nuggets that, you know, go on throughout the chapters, you know, just
Mhm.
talking with different people, and they just saying, you know, certain stuff. You dropped a few gems in this next chapter too. I'm proud of
Yeah.
you. Yeah, you definitely dropped a few gems in this next chapter, and I just feel like
Mhm.
even the conversation would,
Mhm.
you know, could help encourage someone. So I
Absolutely.
just pray is as impactful as I know it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, God
Yeah.
gonna do what He gonna do.
Absolutely. I like your
Yeah,
little
for sure.
attitude. You just like, God got it. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
worry
He gonna do
about
what He
putting
gonna
it
do.
out
Hey,
there.
it's out of my
And
hands
keep
now.
on.
You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
above me
yes.
now.
I love that. I love that because I know that other people are going to be inspired, but I think the real inspiration is how you handle the what comes after the release, because the real journey happens after it's released, because you got more questions, more people that get to know you, more people see you in a spotlight that they've never seen you in. And that, again, while we got the
Mm-hmm.
encouragement, we also have the ones that's going to put up the negative comments, and the churches that may look at it and be like, hold up, wait a minute, define you a little bit different based on that documentary. And how do you stay encouraged through that support or lack thereof from
You know what?
that?
I have a good support system. Um, Number one, the Lord is my rock.
Yeah.
The Lord is my
Yeah.
light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? You know what I'm saying? Of whom shall I be afraid? Yeah. You know what I mean? And with this specific chapter, you know, it's like my come to Jesus moment. And
Yeah.
dang, it's kind of like a spoiler. But
Just a
you ain't heard
tiny
it yet, so it's all good.
tiny bit.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, you should still watch it. But yeah, so it's like my come to Jesus moment, and it's like, you know, it's a lot of um people gonna say what they gonna say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna let them think whatever they want to think. You know what I mean?
Oh,
My job is to exactly, exactly. It speak for itself. You know what I mean? Like my job is to, in this part, in this role, is to tell my story. It's my story.
yeah. Yeah.
You can't tell me. You know what I mean?
How to tell your
And
story.
I think the most people that have something to say is the people that weren't even there. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
people that were in my life at the time and that are in my life now, they can see like, ooh, because girl, you was rough.
Yeah.
And you was all over the place sometimes.
Yeah.
And you liked it like that. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that you gave your life to Christ. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. People gonna say whatever they want to say. I feel like I've been already trained for this. I've
Yeah.
gotten trolled plenty of times. I wouldn't
Mm.
say plenty, but you know, people have come in my DMs with some nonsense, and
Yeah.
they've been on my posts, and it ain't really nothing. I listen. If you're trying to understand me, that's one thing. But if
Yeah.
you want me to prove something to you, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy how far people will go to try to
Yeah.
understand a life that's not their own. Like, try to
Listen.
understand a testimony that's not, if it's not for you, then it's not for you. It is for somebody though, but don't criticize it, you
Listen,
know.
if you don't like, then you don't buy. You know what I mean? Like no one is
Or cut it
no one is
off, change the channel.
I'm not forcing anybody's eyes open. to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't
Yeah.
like it, just turn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what
Yeah.
I don't really
I
have
like
a lot to say about that. Like,
it. Is what it is. Is
it's a
what it
chapter
is.
about that too though. So stay tuned.
Oh, buddy. All right. You talked a little bit
Yeah,
about
a
your
little further
husband.
down the road.
You talked a
Mm,
little bit about your husband and that support system. Nowadays, we are seeing so many marriages that are, especially for our generation, that are failing. But we see husband and the wife individually having so many gifts and talents. And your husband is a producer. He's your film guy and all of that at the same time. Talk about how working together increases your ability to do what it is that you do.
girl, sometimes it decreases it. Marriage is hard. Marriage is
Explain,
hard.
explain.
Sometimes we just like, all right, let's divide and conquer. You know what I mean? We don't have to do everything together. We do
Together,
not.
yeah.
We don't. We don't. Um, yeah, so we only like 3 years in, probably 3.5 at this point. So, we just living our life, taking it day by day. Marriage is definitely hard. So I understand why. I understand. I just understand it's
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah.
Um, especially if uh you attack the person and not the problem.
Ooh, that's good.
And
That's,
we are focusing and growing, and we are attacking the problems and not each
yeah,
other. So yeah, marriage is
I think
difficult
it's
though. It ain't for the weak. I told somebody the other day, they told me they was engaged. I said congratulations. And they said, do you have any like advice or anything? I said, listen. I said one
don't you
thing you
love
need
that?
to be ready for. One thing you need to be ready for is to see the worst of yourself and then try to blame it on them. Because
Mm,
marriage is, it's like a mirror. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you see things, like you can have close friendships and all that. You see things in yourself that you haven't seen before, and you got to
yeah,
work on yourself and not like blame the other person. Even though sometimes it do be the other person. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I would just say keep working on yourself. Jesus in therapy, but
Yeah.
I ain't no
Jesus
marriage
in
counselor.
there.
Jesus in therapy.
I found it very
So,
and I thought that question was very significant, seeing as though you guys are very involved in each other's careers in that aspect. So I find that a lot of people don't understand the value of having that support system there. And then you have people that are advancing that don't have the support system, and you see them arguing about it, and they posting, But
oh, that's one
as
thing we're not gonna
kingdom,
do.
yeah, kingdom. This is what I want to stress. It is even more important for kingdom to come together and support each other, support what Just Danielle is doing, support what John is doing, Michelle over here is doing, because
For sure.
everybody's purpose has something to do with your purpose. You get what I'm saying? Like
We
everything
all
is
connected.
attached. We're all
Yeah,
connected.
we all
And
connected. Hmm.
I heard you say that in the beginning of your the documentary, the intro part, and I said that is so true. We are
We
all
are.
connected to each other's story, but we separate ourselves as if just because we didn't go through that, then we're not affected in the same way. But you got an
Yeah.
aunt and uncle, that did go through that. You got things that you don't even know about that happen in your family. You don't understand why you're affected, why you watching a movie and you get so, emotional about something that's never happened to you because you've been touched by it in some way. And so I value the process of documentaries like this. And I definitely want to encourage everybody to like really tap in. Like we got all the way to July to really, get to
Listen,
know.
tap in,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. So take a minute. I know you briefly said something about it earlier. The new music that's going to be released the same or a day before the second chapter. Talk a little bit about that new music.
Yeah, so we're not doing it on the same day. You know, we
Not
we
the same day, the
we
day
kind of
before.
learn and we pivot, right? We learn and we pivot. So it's
Yeah.
it's coming out on the 15th, the
Mm.
actual single, and it's called Still Being Written. And what I'm saying is, my story is still being written. And I do kind of go into story mode. And if you don't listen to the end, you probably be like, what is she even?
Mm.
She
So
said
you
this was
gotta hear it
gospel.
all the way through.
You know what I mean? So it is. So each episode, is has a soundtrack. So if you're not watching
Mm.
it, you're gonna kind of be like lost on some
Yeah.
songs. Like, what? We was just talking about this, and now we talk about listen. That's how
Yeah.
life. That's how life is. And for me, I feel like
Absolutely.
music is like the soundtrack to my life for real. Like, there's certain
Mhm.
songs that I remember from when I was my heart was broken when I was 14 or something like that, and I was listening to it,
Yeah.
or high school stuff. Like, music is really like the soundtrack of your life. So I was like,
It
oh, for the
does.
documentary, it was crowdfunded, and I
Mhm.
only was like looking for like $5,000 to do it. I got a lot of equipment myself. I was going to do a lot of the editing and stuff like that, but people kept
Yeah.
giving, and I was like, listen, we got some studio stuff coming up now. Then y'all want to keep giving? Now we got a
Yeah.
soundtrack to this. So at first I
Yeah.
wasn't going to do a soundtrack, but
Mhm.
people blessed me. So I was just like, it's beautiful, and it's all full circle because never mind, I can't get that out. That's the third
Yeah.
chapter. But
See what
yeah,
I do? I bring it out. I bring it out.
yeah. What's wrong with you? you
That's
trying
why
to
you
make
get
me?
this.
You trying to make me drop all these teasers? Why you keep doing that?
I've been blessed.
Yeah, you gotta give. No doubt, you gotta give. I definitely you were one of the people that helped me bring the storyline together more because I just had all these videos and all these clips. And like I said, like it was only supposed to be about one thing. But as
Yeah.
I was interviewing people, they kept talking about other stuff. And I
Yeah.
kept trying to refocus them. But they wasn't
Don't
getting
go over
back
there that far.
focused.
Get get back over here.
You said, yeah, like they wasn't coming back. And they was like, you
Yeah.
gotta talk about it. You know what I mean? And I'm
Hmm.
like, maybe I do. Maybe I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. There's something they need, even though they're like, this is what I'm talking about. It was something in them that they needed. And somebody else will need that too. So I'm glad they helped fill the gaps for you in
Yeah,
that way.
and you're not in charge of like what people get from your story. Like you're not in
Mm.
charge of that. You want
Ooh,
people to
that's
be
good.
inspired by this or inspired by
Yeah.
that. But you're not in charge of what they see in your life that be like,
Mhm.
oh, that's inspiring. You know what I mean? Like I wish I
You'll
was
be
because
amazed.
it would have been done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You'll be amazed at what inspires people from your story. What inspires people? Like somebody may be inspired just by the fact that you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like that you did this and they can
Listen,
see it and it's great work and they're like, I can do that because she did that. It and
and
it
it's
means
hard. And
yeah.
I wanted to quit. I was like, it was crowdfunded.
You
You
gotta
gotta
do
follow through.
it.
You gotta follow through. Yeah,
I love
so
it. I love it.
I hope so. I really do. I pray it is impactful and that if it ain't my story that you are inspired to live by faith by, it's someone else's for
Yeah.
sure. And send your story in too, man. We listen, we got to
I'm
July. I
about to
want to
give you
drop
that
it.
little floor space to invite anybody. What can we do to support you on this journey and getting this documentary
Listen, I
completed?
need at least to hit my goal of releasing 2 moment of faith videos each
Mhm.
month. I need like 10 more videos.
Okay, so those are
Yeah,
testimonials.
yeah,
Okay.
testimonial. So if you think about the first time that you started believing God for yourself, like you stopped depending on grandma's prayers, you started really to step out on your own faith and build a relationship with God. You can record a 10-minute video, not a 10-minute, a 2-minute video, on your phone, somewhere stable. Please don't send a selfie video, landscape, you know what I mean, and send it to me.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect.
All right.
Your
So where are
story
they
inspires
sending
others. Yeah, that's the subtitle of the documentary. Live by faith. Your journey inspires others.
All right. So where are they sending that to?
Oh, you can send it to my Gmail. invite.justdanielle@gmail.com.
Right. Right. All right. Y'all heard it here first.
2
The
minutes, please.
direct, huh?
2 minutes, please.
2 minutes. If it's over
2
2 minutes, you will not be
You
considered.
can't be before us long. You cannot be before us long.
All right, just Danielle, I want to give you like 30 seconds to just give a inspiring word to those who are listening right now, to my audience that are looking and saying, every time she come on here, it's like, dang, I get some energy, some power, and some go,
Nice.
Get up and go, because of what you've been doing. Give a few seconds of inspiration.
I didn't have time to prepare, but I want to say,
From your heart.
Listen, whatever's in your heart that you can't let go of, you need to just do it. You just need to do it. Do it. I do have a podcast that I'm gonna be getting back to in a few weeks. It's called Healed Enough, and I talk about that, like, you're healed enough. You don't have to be like, oh, I just need like 10 more rounds of therapy. Yeah. You can still seek God, go to a therapist, and follow your dreams at the same time. Yeah. Do it. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't let your emotional state hold you back. Like, just do it. Just do it.
I like that. Literally live by faith. Walk this thing out by faith. Like, don't let it hold up the process that God, because ultimately God is going to do it. God is going to make the moves. It's just like when God told me, he said, you put pen to paper. You don't worry about the impact. You put pen to paper, spend that time with me and let me worry about the impact that it's going to make and how far it's going to go. So,
and it's good too, girl.
Thank you.
So I'll let you listen to the new single. What you think about it?
I love it. And I do love that it kind of takes you on a journey through the song. I'm a visual person. So I listen to a song and I want to see you going through that process in the song. I want to know how you were feeling through that. And you did a great job at that. Plus it was a bop, so that kept me engaged for sure. So I was feeling that the production was on point. Was that you or your husband? The production?
Oh, for that beat, no. Okay. I had outsourced.
Oh man, I love that production is on point, man. It's definitely a vibe, and I can't wait till it's released. So we're gonna be playing that definitely for sure. Matter of fact, we're gonna play it tonight. Once this
put it on.
We're gonna be putting it on. We're gonna be putting it on for everybody to hear. Definitely right here.
Oh, nice. It should be out by the time this come out too, right?
It will be, yeah. So we're gonna play it. We're gonna play it tonight, so everybody get a chance to hear it. Hey, y'all, man, listen. This is your girl, Dr. T, and y'all been tuning into Live Beyond the Beat right here with my girl, the director of Live by Faith Docu-series, Just Danielle, hip-hop artist as well. Man, listen, it was an honor, as always, to have you on the show. Man, you gonna stay connected. We gonna stay connected because we just dialed.
Of course. Yeah, we tight like that. Listen, this goes beyond You First Media. Like,
yeah.
You in the fam. You in the fam for sure. Anything I can help you with, for sure. Thank you for opening up your platform. I appreciate everybody, tuning in and everything. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Sure. Well, we look forward to doing even more and greater things in the future. Look forward to what God is going to continue to do with you. Man, keep pushing, because there's a lot of people that need and want what God has put on the inside of you. I love you, sis. Man, until next time, you guys keep watching out. We got some new episodes and stuff coming on right here with your girl. Dr.
Dr.
T.
T. Dr. T.
Love
Jones Tucker.
Yeah, I got too many names, y'all. Y'all know what it is.
I love
Y'all
it.
have a good night.
All right.